All right, guys, so blue check liberals on Twitter are crying foul after they claim that Elon Musk has made comedy illegal on Twitter and that he is being anti-free speech after he suspended the Twitter accounts of Kathy Griffin and Ethan Klein for essentially being spam accounts. Now, let me give you guys some backstory on what's going on here, because yesterday on Twitter, I noticed a very annoying trend. A trend that was pissing me off, in which you had a bunch of blue check leftists changing their names to Elon Musk. Okay, so they would change their names, or their moniker, I guess that's what you call it. They would change their names to Elon Musk, and then they would change their profile pics to Elon Musk's profile pic, and then they would tweet. They would tweet a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So I'm sitting here strolling through Twitter, and it looks like Elon Musk is putting out a whole bunch of stuff that he normally doesn't put out. But then again, you don't know, because it's Elon Musk. He puts out a whole lot of different stuff, right? And, you quickly find out that that's not him. And it just became extremely annoying, right? And that's what I guess blue check leftists were doing on Twitter in protest of Elon Musk's new policy, where you have to pay $8 a month for a blue check verification badge, right? Because again, the elite don't like being a non-elite anymore, right? Despite the fact that Elon exposed that a lot of them actually paid for their blue check badge, right? People paid upwards of $15,000, $16,000 for a badge. Okay, so Elon Musk is trying to, I guess, democratize, right, the blue check verification. And again, the liberals on Twitter are upset. The elitists on Twitter are upset. So I guess they were doing that in protest to Elon Musk and the changes that he was making. And it got to the point where it became spam. And Elon Musk decided to do something about it. And now blue check leftists are crying foul, saying that Elon Musk is anti-free speech. So this gives me an opportunity to talk about this situation and also what free speech actually means, because these people aren't being suspended over controversial opinions or something being deemed to be hate speech or anything like that. They're being suspended because they made their accounts spam accounts. Okay, when you start impersonating somebody, pretending to be them, and then tweeting things like that, that's spam. Elon Musk has made it clear that he's trying to get rid of spam off of Twitter. He's trying to keep the conversations authentic and real between real people, not spam. So again, a lot of people again on the left are crying foul about this, but it gives me an opportunity to, talk a little bit more about what free speech actually really means. So let's read about this. Comedian Kathy Griffin's Twitter account was suspended Sunday, the same day she changed her page's title to Elon Musk and mocked the new CEO. It wasn't clear whether the suspension was permanent or a direct result of her mockery. It came as Musk announced that accounts that impersonate celebrities and other notables would be prohibited unless they're labeled, quote, parody. Twitter's policy has always prohibited impersonation, but the immediate action is new. Musk would appear to be the main beneficiary of this policy, which might seem to contradict his claim to be, quote, a free speech absolutist. Examples of suspensions for impersonating other people without the parody label were few. They include a user whose page impersonated right-wing provocateur Andy No, who appealed to Musk personally to take action, and someone whose page impersonated actor Keanu Reeves to criticize Musk's parody policy. In recent days, a wave of Twitter users changed their page titles to his and made statements intended to critique his libertarian outlook and tenure at the platform, which he controls, after organizing a $44 billion purchase. Griffin used her Elon Musk account Sunday to urge Americans to vote for Democrats in the midterm elections Tuesday to preserve abortion rights. Quote, I've decided that voting blue for their choice is only right, she wrote as Musk. Griffin spokespeople and Twitter public relations representatives didn't immediately respond for requests to comment. Yeah, so it wasn't just Kathy Griffin that got suspended for this. You also have other verified leftists that got suspended for this as well too. For example, a leftist journalist was impersonating Andy No, who is a more right-leaning journalist, and essentially he was impersonating Andy No and putting out kill lists, basically implying that Andy No was putting out kill lists, which again, it's like, bruh, there's a certain line that you can't cross to try to impersonate somebody, as if, again, Andy Ngo is actually putting that out there. Again, it's easy to be fooled by this stuff because when you're scrolling through Twitter and you see people's names and then you see that verified, check, you're like, oh, this must be them. Okay. And yeah, people were taking advantage of it. I mean, Kathy Griffin is so obsessed with Twitter that she got on her dead mom's account to evade the Twitter ban. And, essentially her and Elon Musk went back and forth about the Twitter ban here. So, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. And I think Elon is already running into some problems with his new blue check system that I don't think has been fully rolled out and implemented yet. But again, the leftists are basically showing him, hey, this is why you shouldn't do this. This is why it's bad, because people can just impersonate anybody with a blue check. So I think that is a valid criticism. And I think that he does need to reevaluate exactly how are you verifying that people are who they say they are. And also, are you going to even allow parody accounts to have blue checks? I think that the blue check should be reserved for actual real people and real companies. Okay. I think parody accounts probably don't need a blue check. I think that those, again, they're parody, they're comedy. They're not a part of real conversation. The whole point of that blue check is to promote real conversation. At least that's my interpretation of what Elon Musk and his goal is. Okay. So with that being said, again, the blue check liberals on Twitter are upset. Okay. As John Wesley Shipp says, Kathy Griffin's account suspended. I'm trying to hang in on this platform for those I care about, but there is a breaking point. Elon Musk calls himself a free speech absolutist. What complete and utter bullshit. Sarah Reese Jones says, for years, conservatives rage on Twitter after being censored for inciting violence, but they're silent when Elon suspends Kathy Griffin for mocking his ignorant verification plan. They don't care about free speech. They just want to be able to dominate and control narratives. Kirk Itchenwad says, I'll probably get banned for this because free speech ends right at Elon Musk's doorstep. He is now waging war on public figures who are trying to show him how easy it is to imitate a current public figures. So he permanently bans Kathy Griffin, then insults her. Kathy Griffin is a comedian and a fierce, smart activist. I guess there is no such thing as free speech after all on this site. Respect to Kathy Griffin for sacrificing her account to end the weeks-long free speech crusade by the guy whose car catches on fire and autopilot into black people. I knew Elon Musk's Twitter would be wild, but I never expected Kathy Griffin to get banned and then log into her dead mother's account to protest her ban. Dear leader Musk suspended Kathy Griffin for making a joke, but Kanye West was reinstated after every company on the planet dropped his anti-Semitic ass. This is effing BS. Andrew Doyle says, Twitter suspending accounts for stating biological facts equal that suggest accountability. Build your own platform. Twitter is a private company and can do what it wants, etc. Twitter suspending Kathy Griffin for impersonating Elon Musk equals fascism. Yeah, that's the argument they're making here. And finally, David Sachs says, I must admit, I never thought Kathy Griffin would be the cause that finally rallied the Twitter elite back to the cause of free speech. Free Kathy Griffin. All right, so here's the thing. I'm guilty of this just like everybody else, okay? Because sometimes you get caught up in these conversations about free speech that you forget what free speech actually is. Free speech is the right to disassociate, okay? That is a part of free speech, okay? If somebody says that I don't want to be associated with a certain person for whatever reason, that is a part of free speech, okay? And in this case, Elon Musk is saying as a private platform, I don't want people essentially posting spam because that's what it is, okay? Impersonating other people, pretending to be them, taking advantage of the system, and then tweeting a bunch of crazy stuff. Yeah, that is spam, right? That is textbook definition of spam. And he's not actually adding to the conversation. Now, again, does that mean that parody accounts shouldn't be allowed? No, they should be allowed. I just think that Elon Musk, he's going to have verified parody accounts, he needs to have a rule in which, hey, you have to specify in your name that this is a parody, okay? You can't have a blue check and then turn around and use somebody's name or impersonate somebody without it being very, very, very clear that this is a parody account. It needs to be in the actual name, okay, that people see when, they scroll through Twitter. But all these people on the left screaming about free speech, Elon Musk is being a hypocrite or whatever, you have no leg to stand on because you guys were saying that, hey, Twitter's a private platform. They can do whatever they want. In response to Twitter suspending people on the right for simply stating biological facts. That has now been defined as hate speech. And that's my whole problem with this free speech conversation. It has become so diluted because you have the left classifying petty things that they disagree with, basically anything they disagree with, as hate speech. And these social media platforms have capitulated to that. That is the whole problem, okay? Look, I acknowledge that, yes, a social media platform, a private company, yes, they have the right to tell people, hey, I don't want to be associated with you, or that you can't do this or you can't do that. But the rules are not being applied equally. That's the problem. That's the problem. And I also don't think we should have a society where we're encouraging people to disassociate or to cancel each other over silly, petty things. Again, like misgendering. That's the problem. Yes, I understand there are some lines that you can't cross. Okay? Like, for example, you can't be Tiffany Cross and go on MSNBC and, openly spew racial hate towards a certain group of people and call for civil war. Yeah, when MSNBC turns around and fires her for that, hey, what can I say? At the end of the day, she was spewing racial hate on her platform. But again, she's a journalist. She's on a major platform where you have certain standards for journalistic integrity, okay? And she wasn't meeting those standards. So I understand why they let her go. Now, on the other hand, right, we had a situation like, for example, Joy Reid, who allegedly had a blog in which she said a bunch of homophobic stuff, and MSNBC was thinking about firing her, and Sean Hannity came to her defense and actually wrote a letter, I believe, to the executives or something like that, in favor of Joy Reid keeping her job and not being fired for it. I actually do agree with Sean Hannity and MSNBC not firing Joy Reid for that, because that was something that was done on a different platform, right? It wasn't on MSNBC's platform. She wasn't saying it on the airwaves. And it also wasn't anything super crazy, like a direct threat of violence or anything like that. That was something that allegedly was, again, her own personal blog. Hey, I don't necessarily think she should be suspended for that. I'm just saying there are certain standards, okay, that we have to have. And I think the problem is that these standards are not consistent across the board, okay? And I think what's happening in our society is that people are just getting canceled for little petty things. And that is what bothers me. Yesterday, I did a video about Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro got upset with Candace Owens for essentially co-signing a tweet from another Jewish person that Ben Shapiro doesn't like. Okay, and a lot of people in the comment section say, well, it's Ben Shapiro's free speech to disagree, and if the Daily Wire wants to disassociate from Candace Owens, then hey, it's their free speech. And it's like, look, I agree with that. I'm not saying that Ben Shapiro can't disagree. He can disagree. It is his right to disagree. I understand that. What I'm saying is that I think that there's an issue with Ben Shapiro in the sense that he always wants to pull the victimhood card anytime anybody says anything remotely, offensive to his religion or that he finds to be offensive. He wants to pull the victimhood card. But at the same time, he has this whole anti-SJW thing, right? This anti-victimhood thing that he doesn't seem to apply to himself. That's all I'm saying, right? That's all I'm saying, because again, how many times has Candace Owens went on her platform and said things that black people are offended by, and you've never seen Ben Shapiro come to the rescue of those black people that are offended by what Candace says and says that, oh, Candace, I disagree with what you're saying. What you're saying is deeply racist or anti-black or whatever. He never does that, right? He never does that because he agrees with it. That's why, right? So, I mean, look, here's the thing. All I'm saying is that there's not a consistent standard. Right? If you're going to be anti-SJW, if you're going to be anti-victimhood, then you got to do that across the board, right? Even when it applies to your own people, okay? You got to be that way, right? The left here in this situation, they were all for companies exercising their rules, right? It's their free speech right to suspend people who do not follow the rules. So now they're upset, not at the rules, they're upset that the rules are being applied to them, because when the platform had previous ownership, Twitter, they didn't apply the rules to the leftists. The leftists could say whatever they want. It was open season. You can say whatever you want about whites, right? You can be openly hateful and racist towards whites, and you may even get promoted for it, right? You may get rewarded for it. You're definitely not getting punished, okay? You're not getting punished. But if you say the same thing that people were saying about whites to other groups of people, Oh, you're racist. Oh, you're a bigot. Oh, there's a problem. Again, clearly, there's a double standard here. I don't know what the standard is. And that's my biggest issue. But like I said, in this case right here, the left, they're upset because Elon is actually applying equal standards to them, right? And it's just amazing to see how upset they get after essentially promoting this stuff, saying, oh no, they can just enforce whatever rules they want to enforce. In this case right here, again, they're not even being banned for saying stuff that people define as hateful or arbitrarily or subjectively define as hateful. She's not been banned for that. And if she did, I would disagree with her ban. I would say, no, she should not be banned for that. The same way I don't think that Ethan Klein should have been banned for the joke that he made about Ben Shapiro in the Holocaust. I don't think he should be banned, even though I think that joke was distasteful. It was out of bounds, but this is what they asked for, right? This is what they wanted. They want people to get banned when they violate the platform's rules, right? Because the platform has their rules and it is their right to suspend people that don't follow those rules. This is what they asked for. But see, in the past, again, the standards were biased in favor of them, where they will only really enforce the rules against conservatives. Now that they're enforcing the rules against everybody, oh, all of a sudden it's a problem. Elon Musk is anti-free speech. But you acknowledge that the ability to ban people, right, to kick people off the platform, that is free speech, right? That is free speech. But see, when the pendulum swings the other way, where these companies can exercise their free speech rights to ban people over speech that they deem to be out of bounds or harmful or spam or whatever, all of a sudden, again, boohoo, whine, and crying about it. Which is why you should not have been encouraging it in the first place. You shouldn't be encouraging people to be banned for little petty things in the first place. In this case, I don't think spam is a petty thing to be banned for. Again, that was clearly spam. I don't think they should be permanently banned. They should just, be required to put parody in your name. If you want to do that, fine. Again, I think Elon Musk just has kind of a glitch in the system that he needs to fix more than anything. But again, man, I just find it amazing how these people want to boohoo, whine, and complain about exactly what they advocated for and the things that they signed up for. Except it's just now hurting them, so now they don't like it. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.